My husband left me and my 3 children because I called the police. AITAH. A little backstory: I, 27F, and my husband 26M, have been together for 4 years. I have 2 daughters from a previous marriage, and we have a son together. I work a full-time job during the day, and throughout most of our relationship he has been unemployed. I made him get a job as we started falling behind on bills, and I was both physically and mentally exhausted. Once he started working, he would work overnight and take care of the children during the day while I was at work. The problem comes in when I found out that he would take a nap around 11 a.m. and stay asleep until I got home around 3 p.m. Most of the time he would take the 3-year-old, which is his son, to the bed with him and lock the 4-year-old in the kids' bedroom. He would usually give them a communal bowl of dry cereal before deciding to take a nap. Since the 4-year-old was locked in her bedroom whenever she had to go bathroom, she had to make the choice of peeing herself and getting in trouble from him for having an accident or take her pants off and pee the floor. Due to this, the kids' room reeks of pee. We recently had an ice storm that pretty much shut down the city, as the city we live in a city that doesn't really get ice/snow often. I was stuck at work because I was already at work when the snow/ice started. His work closed for the whole week and schools also closed the whole week, leaving him alone with all 3 of the kids. We have 1 working car, and it is in his name. That is important to the story. On Tuesday that week he made me drive home on the icy roads in a car that I have never driven on ice or snow. I told him that I was not comfortable driving home in his car, but he said that the kids were driving him crazy, and he needed me home. So I drove home on ice so thick that you couldn't see the lines on the road. The car did not have 4-wheel drive. I made it home safe and told him that since I made it home that I will still go into work on Wednesday. His response is that I wasn't allowed to drive his car for the rest of the week because he did not want me to go back to work. That caused me to call out for Wednesday and find someone willing to drive me to work Thursday. Since I was home all day Wednesday, I know the kids did not get locked in the room and they got fed 3 meals plus snacks. It was the first time in a while that they did not come to me saying that they are starving. Thursday comes and he takes his nap around 11 like usual. The difference is that his work was debating on opening that day depending on if they had enough staff to make it in. So he calls me and asks if my grandparents or aunt could take the kids for the night. When I told him that they are going to have to talk it over, he said never mind and went back to sleep. At that point he had told me that he gave the kids some rice for breakfast and a Nutrigrain bar before nap. 3 p.m. came and I could not get a hold of him. We have a security camera in the living room that can be accessed by phone, so I opened the camera to see if I could see him or the kids in the living room. The apartment was dark but I could hear the kids. The 3-year-old had opened the door to the kids' room, so they were playing in the hallway. I called them over the camera and asked where my husband was. They told me that he was still asleep and that they are hungry. At this point I called my mom and asked if she was willing to go to my place to give the kids food. She agreed and got them McDonald's. I was hoping that she would get there before he woke up as he hates my parents. That was not the case. He woke up and called me before my mom had gotten the food. When I told him that I called in a favor and someone was brining the kids' food, he asked who. I tried to just leave it was just a favor from someone because I knew that if he knew it was my mom that he wouldn't let her in. I was right. As soon as he found out it was my mom, he took the kids to the very back of the apartment, turned off all the lights and stayed there. When I called to let the kids know that food was there for them, they would get excited and start to get up, but then they would look at my husband and stay where they were. My mom ended up calling the police after knocking 3 or 4 times. When the police got there, he called me pissed off. I told him that this could have been avoided if he just answered the door or let the kids answer. The police knocked 3 or 4 times before he answered the door. At that time I had spoken to the police officer through my mom's phone and told her what was going on. My husband still had all the lights off and Barley opened the door. He claimed that he did not know that anyone was bringing food and argued with the officer for a minute before letting the kids get the now cold McDonald's. After the police and my mom left, he video called me to show me that the kids had the food my mom brought. About a minute into that phone call he says, "I guess I should come pick you up from work because apparently I'm not a fit father and shouldn't be alone with the kids." He knows that I cannot just leave my job without losing it. I called one of the people in charge and asked if I could have my kids here. I also called the police to be a neutral ground between us as it was a very long and bad day. When he got to my work, I took the kids out of the car and brought them in the building. He parked behind the building and came in. I would bring his laptop to work for entertainment and to do schoolwork. I am in college for a business degree. He came in and took the laptop to the car. By that time the police had shown up. When the officer got there, he said he got a call for domestic violence. I told him that I was the one who called and just needed a middleman in case things escalated. I didn't think things would, but figured better safe than sorry. I told him that the kids was going to stay with me, and before I could finish the sentence he left. I did not have a change of clothes for the kids or pull-ups for the youngest. So I called my mom and asked if she could watch them for the night. I spent the night at work as I did not have a way home. Friday afternoon I got a text from him saying don't worry about the apartment, I'm not there. Which led me to ask where he was. He said that he drove to Texas and was not planning on coming back. When I asked why he left he said, "You who I should have been able to trust above all else betrayed me. How can I trust anyone who distrusts me so much that they called the cops on me?" Now this would be different if it was the first time. He had not properly fed the kids. And every time I suggested that we change schedules, so he works during the day, and I work overnight, he shut it down. He also shut down sending the younger two to daycare so that way we know they are being taken care of and he can get the rest he needed. Since he shut down every idea to make sure that everyone was taken care of, I felt backed into a corner and could not let my babies go hungry through most of the day. With that being said, I did not want my husband to leave. Am I the a-hole? Should I have done something different?